Hello, welcome to HITC Sport. Football's making an astronomical fortune. Some would say unfair. I definitely would when I'm forced to eat my own toenails for supper. Let's take a look at every Premier League club and find the biggest wage that was ever rejected. Arsenal, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, 180,000. Imagine being 24 years old and actually being in the position to reject a contract worth £180,000 a week. Oh yeah, and at the end of a long 4-hour working day, you return home to a female pop star cooking you a plate of spuds. Yes, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has pretty much won at life. It was a bit of a smack in the face to Arsenal though. Seeing a kid they took in from the League One wilderness just 6 years earlier, a fella they nurtured, took care of, sacrificed the likes of Kieran Gibbs for, and after all that he turns down a contract, choosing to take a 60 grand a week pay cut to link up on a Liverpool side who finished just 1 point above the Gunners in May. Arsenal fans were probably gobsmacked, offering an attacking player wages of £180,000 a week, with almost 200 games for the club and less than 10 league goals to show for it, and he turns that down? Mental. Aston Villa, Gareth Barry, 80,000. Yeah, we're going back over a decade for this one. Listen, at the time, this was mega money offered by a then Europa League club in Aston Villa. In 2008, Gareth Barry was trying to force a move to Liverpool. Fast forward a year, and now it was big money Man City trying to poach the club's want-away captain. To be fair, Villa tried their best, offering Barry 80k wages. Considering this guy had essentially spent the year whining, sulking, and tossing the captain's armband in a bin, to then be offered a pay rise of £40,000 a week. If he behaved like that in any other job, he'd have been told to clear out his desk. These days 80k might seem like a pittance for England internationals. For Christ's sake, John Joe Shelby earns that sort of wage, and he's about 36th choice for his country. But at the time, the likes of Didier Drogba were only earning 10 grand more, and Barry still turned it down. Bournemouth, Matt Ritchie, 40,000. Yeah, we're going back 3 years for this one. When Bournemouth star Matt Ritchie turned down an approved £40,000 a week contract, choosing to sacrifice his Premier League ambitions for more Championship football with Newcastle. To be fair, that was a bit of a slap in the face for Bournemouth, but I suppose the then Scotland international would rather line out in front of 52,000 passionate Geordies, even against the likes of Preston and Burton Albion, than just take on the top four in a tin shed smaller than Jonah Hill's fridge. Brighton, David Stockdale, 30,000. This one I just don't understand. Listen, David Stockdale had just got promoted to Brighton. He could have finally become a settled Premier League #1 goalie for years on end, but no, he chooses to turn down a £30,000 a week contract, choosing to just stay in the Championship with Birmingham. I've never understood this one. Burnley, Andre Gray, 60,000. It's these sort of modern day wages that just make me a little bit angry. Go back to June 2017, and after just one 9-goal season for Burnley, Andre Gray actually thought he was in the position to turn down offers of 60 grand a week, demanding 70,000. £70,000 for a bang average Championship striker, who's clearly out of his depth in the top flight. And the fact that he actually found a gullible club willing to pay it. Chelsea, Eden Hazard, 340,000. When you have a big club prepared to offer crazy wages to every man and his dog, there's going to be a lot of options for a club like Chelsea. At the time, a 24-year-old Steven Gerrard knocking back £125,000 a contract in 2004, pre-Istanbul. In modern day terms, that's like ripping up a Euro Millions winning lottery ticket. Fast forward 15 years, now we have Eden Hazard rejecting an offer of £340,000 a week. Considering the club were shackled by a transfer ban, I'm surprised they didn't also chuck in a few dozen yachts. Crystal Palace, Wilfried Zaha, 125,000. Okay, I realise, alright, Wilfried Zaha signed a new £130,000 a contract just 4 weeks later, but in July 2018, during contract negotiations and with Spurs, Everton and Borussia Dortmund all buzzing around, Wilfried Zaha reportedly turned down £125,000 a week contract for Crystal Palace. Great, alright, Zaha obviously has ambitions that extend further than annual relegation battles. Oh wait, no, offer him 5 grand a week more and he's signing on for another 5 years. Good lad. Everton, Romelu Lukaku, 140,000. This would have made Romelu Lukaku the highest paid player in Everton's history. At one point during the 16-17 season, it looked like Romelu Lukaku was going to sign the £140,000 a week contract on offer at Goodison Park, but in the end he didn't, choosing to make 250 grand a week at Old Trafford instead. Leicester, N'Golo Kante, 100,000. To be fair, when Leicester won the title in 2016, I assumed their squad had been ripped apart within 20 minutes of the parade. To be fair, they did well to keep the likes of Riyad Mahrez, Jamie Vardy and Danny Drinkwater around, tying the best players down to big fat contracts. N'Golo Kante though was the one they let slip through the cracks, tying up a cut price £30 million move to Chelsea. The Foxes did try to keep him though, offering to make him the club's best paid player on £100,000 a week. Quite an improvement on the 40k salary he was making. Didn't work though. Liverpool, Raheem Sterling, 100,000. Yeah, it's surprising this figure isn't more, but to be fair, not many players have wanted to quit Liverpool since Jurgen Klopp arrived. Raheem Sterling though, a man who was earning just 35 grand a week at Liverpool. We all know the contract talks he found himself embroiled in 2015. The kid was desperate to get away. He was rejecting offers of £100,000 a week, with his agent saying that he wouldn't even accept £900,000 a week to stay at Anfield. Listen, I know he wanted to win trophies, but please lad, what 20-year-old boy is rejecting almost £1 million a week to play for Liverpool. I see world-class superstars sacrificing their careers to play Chinese football for that sort of money. So please, alright? Enough of that complete and utter horse bollocks. Man City Kaka, 500,000. Yep, here's the big one. Listen, Man City have had big wage offers knocked back in the past, especially the days when they were new money and yet still had a squad littered with the likes of Bajani and Talban Haim. This one though, this was a simple case of Man City trying to run before they could walk. This was the new ownership's first proper transfer window. January 2009, despite having lost 12 games before Christmas, despite having just come off the back of an FA Cup third round exit at home to Nottingham Forest, despite boasting a squad with Wayne Bridge at left back, here they were making a play for Ballon d'Or winner Kaka. Fair play, I admire the ambition, but it's a bit like a three-legged cat trying to match with Jessica Alba on Tinder. At the time, City had offered AC Milan a world record £91 million with a weekly wage of £500,000 a week. In 2009, absolutely mental. To put it in context, at the time, the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, the biggest name in world football, he was only on £120,000 a week. A Europa League team offering wages of £500,000 a week. 11 years ago, thank Christ this move didn't happen. It would have completely broken the fabrics of football. And also, fair play to Kaka, alright? Refusing to denigrate himself by spending his peak years taking orders from Mark Hughes. Man United, Ander Herrera, 200,000. Yeah, this just didn't make sense. Still doesn't. The most wages rejected by a player at Manchester United. And it's Ander Herrera. On what planet is this bang average workhorse worth 200 grand a week? It's simple, he's not. But this is exactly what happens when a contract starts to run out. The club hierarchy seemed to get panicky and desperate. Instead, Herrera walks out the door to PSG, where he collects, Christ above, £300,000 a week. That honestly makes me a little bit ill. Special mention to Cristiano Ronaldo, who also rejected 200 grand a week to remain at Old Trafford back in 2009. A bit like Chelsea with Hazard. I think we all knew the lore of Real Madrid was a bit too much. Newcastle, Michael Owen, 80,000. Nothing surprises me about Newcastle anymore. This is the only one in the entire list where a club actually tried to get a player to sign for less money. Only Mike Ashley would try to renegotiate a contract for the club captain by offering him less wages. Listen, I have no respect for Michael Owen's time at Newcastle, but it wasn't his fault the club were stupid enough to offer him wages of 105 grand a week in 2005. In December 2008, the club offered a 28-year-old Owen the option of a longer contract worth a reduced 80 grand a week. So let me get this straight. In the throes of a relegation battle, with Owen's international career lying in the gutter and facing the ignominy of being coached by Joe Kinnear at club level, at a club who he never wanted to sign for in the first place, and was clearly counting down the days until his contract ends, you were seriously expecting him to extend his stay in the Championship for less money? What? Norwich, Johnny Howson, 30,000. Yeah, let's go back 3 years ago. Johnny Howson rejects a 30 grand a week deal to stick it out in Norwich, instead thinking he had a better chance at a Premier League return with a recently relegated Middlesbrough. Well, the joke is clearly on him now that Norwich are in the top flight while Middlesbrough are perched on the edge of League One. Sheffield United, David Parkhouse, 15,000. Okay, to be fair, I couldn't find many fat contracts rejected at Sheffield United lately, but I do know that David Parkhouse rejected a £15,000 a week deal to stay at Bramall Lane last year. I don't know, in comparison to the rest of them, this doesn't really seem like much, does it? Southampton, Theo Walcott, 85,000. You would think for a selling club like Southampton, they'd have done everything in their power to keep their star players. But no, they just kind of sat on their hands and didn't really do anything. There's been no desperate last cast pay raises. Nothing, just so long and good luck.
I don't recall saying good luck.
I mean, this is a bit like leaving your front door wide open and then complaining when you get robbed. I mean, Gareth Bale was a budding superstar who did reject a contract offer, but he was only turning down £4,000 a week. Paul Pogba makes that amount just sitting on the bastard toilet. I'm gonna go with Theo Walcott, but not back in 2006, Christ above. Jesus Christ, £85,000 a week for an unknown 16-year-old kid? That would have been financial suicide in 2006, but no. Instead, I'm just gonna go back 2 years ago when he rejected a move home to sign a weekly £100,000 a week deal at Goodison Park. Apparently, the Saints had offered him an insulting, measly £80,000 a week. I'm surprised he didn't have the wherewithal to spit in their face. Tottenham, Gareth Bale, 150,000. Okay, yes, we all know Christian Eriksen spent the last year rejecting wage offers of £150,000 a week at Spurs. But I'm going to go back to May 2013 when Gareth Bale did the exact same thing. At the time, Spurs had just finished 5th in the league and were desperately trying to convince a Real Madrid-bound superstar to stick it out in the Europa League. How the tables had turned, whereas 4 years earlier, they were looking to dump him on the doorsteps of championship clubs for 3 million quid. Now they were offering him astronomical £150,000 a week wages to turn down the biggest club on planet Earth. He didn't. Watford, Ashley Young, 30,000. Yeah, okay, for Watford I haven't seen a lot of big money contracts knocked back in recent years, but I do know that Watford offered a young Ashley Young wages of £30,000 a week all the way back in 2006, only for him to end up at Aston Villa instead. West Ham, Carlos Tevez, 150,000. Well, this was mental. Well, you have mid-table clubs like West Ham offering past their 33-year-olds wages of 150,000 bastard pounds a week. How was that ever sustainable? Especially when trying to juggle the books of a new stadium. Back in the summer of 2016, West Ham chairman David Sullivan, a man with delusions of grandeur, said this when Tevez rejected his offer of 150,000 pounds a week.
All this business, I love West Ham. Well, it's I love West Ham if they give me 250,000 pounds a week. I thought that was an incredible offer for someone who loves West Ham.
Lad, if it took you until 2016 to realise that Carlos Tevez loves money, then you clearly haven't been paying attention. Wolves, Tammy Abraham, 120,000. At the time when Tammy Abraham stuck halfway down the championship with Aston Villa, when he rejected an offer of Premier League football on a fat £120,000 contract at Wolves, but no, he rejected this, got promoted, and ended up starting up front for his boyhood club. Well played, How did he know? It's almost as if he had an ear to the ground and knew that there was an incoming transfer ban. Because if not for that, then yeah, he'd probably have regretted not signing for Wolves. Anyway, that's the end of the video, lads. Let me know in the comment section below. Have I got this all wrong? If you're washing your hands, you're a great person. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.